Hello, everybody. Welcome to WWP Reacts. I wanted to discuss this hearing today at Homeland
By
Security.
the Biden administration.
It's
Reclaiming my
amazing,
time. I
how
don't want to be
rude
charged
some of these people are.
perjury charges against you, but I'm of the opinion that the Trump administration, DHS, your DHS, approved the asylum application.
The asylum application moved forward under all of the information.
It's amazing how none of these Democrats, they're talking about the guy that shot and killed shot the two National Guardsmen last week or 2 weeks ago now in DC, and the one young lady died. And the guy was here on asylum, didn't go through any vetting. And this guy, this racist person, cannot even take responsibility. It was the Democrat Party and Joe Biden that let this guy in here without being vetted. They blame it on her that she was supposed to go back and vet the 1.5 million people that came in here unvetted. That's absolutely crazy.
Vetting processes that were put in place under the Biden administration, which is when vetting happened. And that's what President Trump has changed. Under President Trump's administration,
my time again.
When
it's obvious you don't want to answer the question. Mr. Kent, do you want a shot at it? The individual was.
Look how rude he is. He is I am a senator being this rude. Wait till you hear what gets said later.
Vetted to serve as a soldier in Afghanistan, and that vetting standard was used by the Biden administration as a ruse to bring him here. Had we followed the standard operating procedures for special immigrant visas, that individual and none of the
Reclaim my time. Reclaim my time. It's not your time. You ask them a question, let them answer it. God, these senators or whatever they are just infuriate me how they treat people.
all allies welcome people would have come to America. That's on Joe Biden.
Gentlemen's
Just
time has
answer it.
expired.
That was the answer.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. That was a murder that took place in D.C. It was not an unfortunate incident. And those comments are effing disrespectful.
Who is that?
I love that. This guy stood right up to that ranking member. They are effing disrespectful comments.
Expect better from the
It's not a valid point of order. I will now recognize the gentleman from Texas, former chairman, Mr. McCall, for 5 minutes.
Good for him.
Mr. Chairman, Madam Secretary, great to see you. This hearing reminds me of the novel A Tale of Two Cities. They see it, the Dems see it as the worst of times, but I see it really as the best of times. And what do I mean by that?
Yeah, the Democrat Party just wants to go after everything Trump does. They have Trump derangement syndrome. They can't get over it that he's closed the border, that he's cleaned up the mess that Biden caused. I mean, so absolutely right. This is the best of times.
Under the Biden administration, 15 to 20 million illegal aliens, unvetted, as you indicated, came into this country. What I think.
And you know where that came from? I mean, today I was reading the New York Times, and an author, one of the writers there, was talking about he interviewed 30 staff members from Biden's White House staff that now are free to talk. And the reason they stated that Biden was hesitant to shut down the border and do all the things that Trump had done was because they didn't want and did they figured if they did that they'd piss off the Hispanics and lose the Hispanic voting bloc that the Democrats have forever for a long time enjoyed. Well, in the last election, they didn't enjoy it as much because a lot of Hispanics voted for Trump, like clearly much more than in the past. So, um, unbelievable. That's a great read in the New York Times today. Even though it's a lefty rag, I still read it daily because, well, it fires me up.
Most disturbing is Director Kent's testimony. 18,000 known or suspected terrorists got into this country under the Biden administration. That's
18,000 terrorists. I have 11,000 followers on here, and I got an email from YouTube saying it's like having a small town of subscribers. So 18,000 is more than a small town of terrorists. If you take the whole town of the town I live in, I think there's 28,000 people in the city or town. I call it town. I'm from the north, but now in the south they call it a city. Um, Almost everybody. That would mean like everybody in this town, city, whatever you want to call it. 2 out of 3 would be a known terrorist living here.
Well, we impeached Mayorkas. I was one of the managers. He told his Border Patrol, you don't have to pay attention to federal law when it says shall detain aggravated felons. He disregarded federal law and says, you know what, may detain. It's discretionary. And guess what? We have.
And the laws passed by Congress, the legislative branch, and the executive branch, which the Department of Homeland Security falls under, is supposed to follow the law. Mayorkas should have been put in jail. He still should be brought up on charges for not following the law.
Thousands of aggravated felons now, or if not millions, in this country today. That was the worst of times. Let me go to the best of times. Most secure border I've seen in my 22 years in Congress. And I've dealt with this for a long time. Coming from Texas, being chairman of this committee, the daily crossings are 95% down from the prior administration. That's the best of times. 0 catch and release. My very first bill in Congress 22 years ago was to end catch and release. 22 years later, we finally have achieved that goal. That, Madam Secretary, is the best of times, an all-time record low. America is safer today. I feel so. And when I look at the Venezuelan vessels attacked, the president had every right under the Constitution, Article 2, international waters, cartels designated as FTOs, coming into our country to spread poison to kill Americans. If that's not self-defense, I don't know what is. And then finally, Madam Secretary, thank you for taking out the shadow Iranian oil tankers headed from Venezuela to Cuba, getting around our sanctions that Congress passed. I'm finally seeing an administration flexing its muscle in this hemisphere, which has been neglected for so many years. So air, land, and sea is your charge. It's the military's charge as well. I see the land secure. I see the maritime borders getting more secure, and I applaud you for that. On the air secure piece, I chair the Special Events Task Force. That's FIFA, the Olympics, the 250th anniversary. Drones are the biggest threat as I see it. I see it in Ukraine in its conflict with Russia, and I see it across our border.
Well, and the Department of War says drones are our biggest threat. I mean, we are investing so heavily in drones, it's unbelievable. There's some things I know because I have relatives, a son who is a military member and is very heavily involved. Let's just say in some of this drone technology being deployed throughout the Joint Special Operations Command. So it is a huge threat, and our Department of War is finally waking up to the fact that we have to get on the vanguard of these new technologies.
And I see it at these events. If you could update me, and with the new NDA authorization to allow federal, state, and locals to work together to identify hostile adversary drones and take them down, can you tell me how that will impact your ability, Madam Secretary, to better secure these special events?
Yes, thank you, Congressman McCall, and thank you for your leadership. I understand you're retiring, and I'm sad about that. You've been a statesman. Thank you for serving with such dignity.
Thank you.
The counter drone and drone technology that is out there today, frankly, our authorities haven't kept up with. And so thank you for that legislation. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to truly defend the homeland. Here at the Department of Homeland Security, we are going to be investing upwards to $1.5 billion into drone technology and counter drone technology and mitigation measures that we can deploy not just across different NSC events or large scale events that we're responsible for the security on, but also that we can use to partner with cities and states for celebrations and different things that they may hold as well. So we have the responsibility at the Department of Homeland Security for FIFA and the 11 cities that will be hosting the matches here in the United States, also the Olympics, the America 250 celebrations, also other national security events that happen, such as Mardi Gras and other events that are going on throughout the country. So this program that we will have will not only work within the events that the department is responsible for, but we will be able to sign agreements with states and cities to provide measures that they don't currently have. And we're working with the FAA as well to get what we need.
So I just wanted to show a clip of that. Um, that it was supposed to be a hearing on national security threats. Of course, the Democrat leadership over there, all they wanted to do was attack her, tell her to resign, tell her how horrible a person she is, that she flies a jet, that she lives in housing for a what would be considered a general or whatever, military senior officer. Well, she's a Secretary of Homeland Security. That's the way it is. And that's not your call, legislation. The Democrat legislator, it's not your call. And to be so rude and to treat people that way is a disgrace. With that, thank you all for joining. And you like this kind of commentary, please subscribe and like and share. Thank you very much. Bill signing off.